Hi guys, my name is Luna Ember. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you like my makeup, stick around because I will show you exactly how I did it, step by step. Also talking a little bit about where I'm at right now, what's been going on, and just a little bit about my book. Sorry it's kind of loud, but yeah, I hope you watch the rest of this video. Thank you so much for clicking on it, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I posted, so today we are going to do a get ready with me. We're going to do a little life update, and I'm actually going to do like a more in-depth get ready with me. Now, I'm not a professional makeup artist by any means, but I'm going to go over exactly what I'm doing, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about where I'm at right now. And I also want to talk about my book, which is the reason why I originally started this YouTube channel. So by all means, I've already prepped my skin, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I already moisturized my skin. I use the Ultra Repair Cream from First Aid Beauty. I actually got this like in a makeup box subscription, which they gave me a full size, which I really appreciate because this is going to last me a while. I really like how this really soaks into my skin pretty quickly. And I also went over it with Pharmacy Honey Halo. This one's a little bit more expensive, but a little goes a long way. It comes with a little spatula that like magnetizes to the top, which I really like, so you don't have to dip your finger into it every time. But yeah, so now that my skin is moisturized, I'm just gonna go over it again with the Jumbo Continuous Prep and Set Mist by Morphe. So I'm just going to go ahead and run that over my face, making sure my face is nice and hydrated. So I have combination skin, and because of that, my skin, like, I have dry patches on my nose, I get oily, I just have everything that can go wrong with skin, I pretty much have. So I just like to really layer on the moisture, that way my makeup can really soak in and melt throughout the day into my skin without it like flaking off or moving. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to do my foundation. I usually do my eye makeup first and then my foundation, but the other day I did it in reverse and my makeup came out really good, and I'm a superstitious person, so if it came out really good, I'm going to assume I need to do that again. So what I use for foundation is MAC Studio Fix. I am in the color NC40. It's a bit yellow for me, so I actually mix it with the Miss Ariana Grande, the queen of this household, her Rem Beauty Sweetener Foundation in medium 7N. It's way more of a neutral, like, I would say it's like a stony undertone, so it really offsets it. I'm going to take a dry beauty blender, and I'm just going to spray that spray onto it. And I'm just going to go ahead and take two small pumps of the MAC, and then one pump of the Rem Beauty, and you can see the color difference. So that's so that's way more yellow, and then that's the Rem Beauty, and when you mix it together, it's like my perfect shade. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dot that on my face, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put this all over. So yeah, so what I wanted to talk about is that the reason why I've been gone so long from my channel is because I've actually been receiving treatment. So I am, I mentioned it before, I am bipolar. I am bipolar 1 to be specific. I have, obviously manic depression comes along with that, and I am also, I also have PTSD from numerous things that happened in my childhood. So because of all that, I was struggling pretty heavily recently, and my medications weren't working the way that they used to, and I just needed help. I really did. So I decided to go. Decided to enter back into treatment. I was in treatment 5 years ago in 2021, and I loved it. It really saved my life. Like, no exaggeration, it saved my life back then. So I decided to go back to the same program, the same treatment center, and it's been lovely. The people there, just everything, down to the clinician, even down to like the receptionists. Like, they've all been so lovely, and it's really been helping me. So I was going to therapy 5 times a week, and right now I'm actually down to 4, I believe. But because I was going 5 days a week, obviously there's not much to vlog. Not that it takes up my whole day, but it took up a good chunk. It was like 5 hours out of my day. So because of that, obviously I cannot film while I'm in there. So, I didn't want to vlog. I thought it would be redundant, me doing the same thing every single day. I didn't have time to do much else. I do have a vlog that's stuck in editing right now that does have some things that I've done, like touch up my hair. Right now my hair is so faded, believe it or not. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's very faded. If you look at the roots, I'll show you once my makeup is done. Now that that's all blended, by the way, I'm just spot correcting with Shape Tape Creamy Tarte Concealer in 35N. So I just like going over little dark spots, going over my mustache. And just kind of just spot correcting a little bit. But yeah, so that's what's been going on with me. That's why I've been so busy. But that's not an excuse. I'm using it as an excuse, but I really need to be on here more. So I need to just do that. I'm just taking a sponge and I'm just really like tapping in where I just spot corrected. Just really want to make sure I get that in. Alright, I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, now I'm going to use my tried and true. I've used so many different powders. Laura Mercier, Huda. I really like Huda Beauty. I really love her setting powder. But my tried and true, Airspun. Listen, if the drag queens use it, it's good enough for me. So, and you can't beat a $6.99 powder that's this big. You know what I mean? You really just, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. So, I am going to go ahead and, oh, I almost forgot. I'm going to need to highlight my under eyes with a lighter concealer. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bake. So, let me go ahead and do that. Can't believe I almost forgot to highlight. It's my favorite part. So I'm using Juvia's Places concealer in color 23. It is super light. I'm sure you can see how white that is compared to me. I really like a bright under eye. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that shape underneath my eyes. Sometimes I do the bridge of my nose. Sometimes I don't. It really depends on how I'm feeling. But today I guess I feel like doing it. And that is it. That's it for that concealer. Now I'm going to take that same dry beauty blender and... Ooh, excuse me, I burped. I'm drinking a Bloom, and it makes me burp a lot. But I'm drinking Shirley Temple right now. I've never had Shirley Temple. It's alright. I like the crisp apple flavor better. I think that might be my favorite. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take the dry beauty blender. I'm going to take the pointy, more angled end. And I'm just going to really pat that in. Like I said, I really like a bright under eye. And again, I am not a makeup artist by any means. So if this looks crazy to you, you know, maybe don't do it. if this doesn't work for you. But it works for me. I really like it. So I'm going to do it. But I just kind of drag it up to my temple. and I really pack it in, and then I'll take it down my smile lines a little bit, right there in the where it creases naturally, and I just go ahead and blend this one out. All right, cool. All right, so now I'm gonna take my Airspun and I'm gonna take a little powder puff, and I'm just going to dip that in and really, like, when I say bake, I mean like bitch. Like, we are using we're using a lot of powder. We are not being stingy. Again, this powder is $6.99 compared to like $40 setting powders, so we can afford to bake like this. So we're gonna go ahead and really set that under eye and really let it sit. We're also going to use this as a guide for our eyeshadow, because you see how like it naturally kind of cuts it right there? That's where my eyeshadow is going to end. So I'm kind of going to use that as a guide. And same thing, taking it down the sides of my face. I know I look crazy right now. Okay, so now that we look like clowns, now that everything is like kind of setting. All right, so I'm going to go in with this dual-ended brush. I'm going to use the fluffy end, and I have this palette from ColourPop. This was from their Valentine's Day collection that they came out with a couple of years ago. I think they come out with a new one every year, but it was the Lost in Love palette. So if you've been following me, or if you've seen any of my Get Ready With Me's, you notice a pattern. I pretty much exclusively wear warm-toned eyeshadows, whether that be pinks, purples, reds, oranges. I love a warm eyeshadow, and this is right up my alley. Like, this is like beautiful. As soon as I saw it, I actually bought the whole collection when it came out, and it came with glitter, it came with lippies, and blushes. It was just so cute. Now I'm taking a little bit of that Airspun powder on this fluffy brush, and I'm just kind of lightly going over my eye so I can kind of prep it for that eyeshadow. I know that some people use eyeshadow as the mattifying product for their eyelid. I don't know. That's never worked for me. I don't know why. I understand why it would make sense. I don't know why my skin doesn't like that. Because if I put eyeshadow directly onto my eye without priming it with a powder, it just slips and slides everywhere, and it creases, and it's like, it's not cute. It's really not cute. So I like have to do this. But I'm going to go ahead and take the fluffy end of my brush. I am going for something that matches my hair today. So I'm going to take, I think that's pronounced Amoris. It is this matte orangey shade right here. I'm going to take a little bit of that. Get off the excess. And I am just going to put that all over my crease. I'm using very light pressure. Again, I'm using the really fluffy end of the brush. And this is going to be my transition color. And again, I'm only taking it as far as that cut is where the powder is that I mentioned that I was going to do earlier. So that's pretty much it. So I'm not going to bore you guys. I'm going to go ahead and do my other eye, and I'll be back. Alright, so color is in the crease. Now, this is going to be a pretty simple look, at least I think. We've only used one eyeshadow so far. I actually been wearing this makeup look for the past couple days. I don't know if I want to add eyeliner. I haven't been adding eyeliner, but I think to really vamp it up, I think I might in this video. But next, I am going to take Cupid Cold, which is this really pretty color right here. It's like a magenta, and I'm really getting it on the brush, and I'm using the short end of the brush, and I'm just going to take that all over my lid. But yeah, so while I do this, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my book as well. So my book is the original reason why I even started this YouTube channel. Because my YouTube channel and my bookstagram. Because obviously I want people to know about my book, but I have a hard time talking about it, mostly because I get a little insecure about it because the book isn't done yet. I have about 11 chapters, to be totally transparent, and I love my book. I really do believe in it, but I was fearful of promoting it before it was even done because I was like, well, you know, what if I don't finish it, or what if, you know, it takes me another year to finish it? But I decided, you know what? Fuck it. I should talk about my book ad nauseum any chance I get, any chance I can get. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm going to go over a little bit of what my book's about, introduce you to the characters a little bit, just little brief things, and as my videos progress, I will tell you more and more about it. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do that with you guys today. I hope you don't mind. Alright, so the idea behind my series is that I'm hoping for it to be a trilogy. It's going to be called the Lost series, and the first book is going to be called The Lost Heirs. It follows the story of Emerson, which is our female lead, and Cyrus, which is our male lead. And I adore them. I'm a little bit biased towards Cyrus. I think Cyrus might be my favorite character so far in writing. I have the most fun, I think, getting to write for Cyrus in Cyrus's POV. So it is going to be dual POV between Emerson and Cyrus. Not too much. It's going to be heavily through Emerson's point of view, but you do get a little bit of both of Cyrus, both from the beginning of the book and the end of the book. Alright, so basically, and by the way, now when it comes to my makeup, so this is where I've been stopping for the past couple days. Really simple, 2 eyeshadows. I think I'm going to, for the sake of the video, do something a little bit more and add a liquid liner. This is NYX Professional Makeup Epic Ink Liner. This is what I use to bring my little mole, my dot back to life. After I cover it with all this makeup, I just touch it with some liquid eyeliner. I think I'm going to do a wing. But yeah, so I don't know if I can talk about my book and do the wing at the same time. So let me go ahead and do the wing and I'll come back. Alright, so that is the fastest I've ever done my eyeliner, ever. So, I'm a firm believer that eyeliner, like eyebrows, are sisters and not twins. Mostly because I can never get my eyeliner exactly the same on both eyes. This one always comes out better than this one, but I think today it's pretty decent. For my eyebrows, I haven't been doing my eyebrows a lot lately. I've been really enjoying, like, the natural, just like eyebrow look. If I don't have an eyebrow pencil right now. I think I lost it, but I would use at least a little bit on the tail normally, but like I said, I don't know where it is right now. So this I also got from a makeup bag. It says it's from Cheekbone, and it was cleaner than what it looks like now, but this is their clear eyebrow gel. So I've just been it's a cute little spoolie. So I've just been taking that and going over my eyebrow and just really getting all the hairs into place. And that's it. That's all I've been doing for my eyebrows. And it makes my life so much easier. And I've also been trying to keep up with getting my eyebrows waxed. They need to be waxed really badly right now. But I realize that, like, if my eyebrows are waxed and if I stay on top of grooming them, I'm less inclined to want to put makeup on them because they're already shaped more or less. And I'm very lucky that my eyebrows, for the most part, are full enough. I wouldn't say they're very full, but they're full enough where, like, I can get away with not wearing eyebrow makeup, and it still looks like I have eyebrows because I do. So I kind of, you know, whatever. But yeah, so now we can talk exclusively about the book because our makeup is still setting. I'm going to dust a little bit of extra that airspun powder in the rest of the places where I didn't set any powder at all, just to kind of set the rest of my makeup. But yeah, so I'm going to do that. And so did I already mention it, or did I not already mention it? I'm just going to go over it again in case I did. If I repeat myself, I'm sorry. But the book follows Emerson, and which is the female lead, and it follows Cyrus, which is the male lead. And they are in their late 20s, and they've known each other since they were kids. And basically, I don't want to give too much away, but they live in a world where magic is abundant. There are creatures. By creatures, I mean that there are people that are of different species. They instead of going by like witches or warlocks, they just go by the general term of mages. So everyone, well, not everyone, but for the most part, most people are a mage of some level. They go by a class system. So depending on your level of mage, is going to determine basically where you rank in society. And they are ruled by the Grand Mages, which is the regime, their government, whatever you want to call it, that kind of rules over their world and dictates everything. The laws, the lay of the land, just everything. So basically, Emerson and Cyrus, when they were younger, they found out some truths that they were being used by the government. I'll just say that. And they were raised in an environment where they were basically going to be raised to be weapons. And they escaped. So they escaped in their mid-teens. When Cyrus was about to turn 18, and when Emerson was about 16. So they escaped this fortress, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying not to give too much away. I'm trying to figure out how to not give too much away. But I do want to start posting the chapters that I do have online. So I might post, because the first chapter is pretty solid. So I think I might post the first chapters for you guys to read if you're interested. But basically, they escape and they decide that in order to basically up their chances of survival, they decide that they need to separate, because if they don't separate, they're just more inclined to get caught, because instead of two fugitives on the run, it's two separate ones. Does that make sense? Because instead of finding one and finding the other, at least if, you know, they just think it's safer if they go to separate ways. So they go separate ways, and they haven't seen each other for over 10 years. And that comes to present day when they're in their late 20s. And fate kind of brings them back together, and they realize that there are more powers at play than they realize. And they kind of figure out that they play a bigger role into what makes their world tick. And they basically, so they realize that the regime isn't all that they say that they are. They're not as peace-loving and for the people as they say that they are, and they find out a bunch of hard truths that basically puts them in a position of realizing that they play a bigger part in potentially dismantling their entire government and their world than they realize. So that's pretty much the gist. I tried not to say too much. It's kind of hard. I don't have I'm gonna get better at this though, because I'm gonna continue to talk about it, so it's okay. But I'm going to get like a steady blurb that I can read that's describing the book. But in the meantime, I'm thinking about maybe making some type of website or using a website, maybe like Wattpad or something, so I can post the first chapter so you guys can read it. But yeah, so that's a little. Alright, so that was a little bit about my book. So I just kind of took off all the excess powder. I also brushed it along where the powder wasn't sitting to kind of just set my makeup there. But yeah, so I'm sorry I couldn't say too much about the book. I didn't want to spoil anything. I'm trying to get like a blurb together so I can like a summary of the book so I can read it to you guys. I'll do that at some point in like maybe like my next video. But I do want to get better at talking about my book, so you know, baby steps. But yeah, so that's a little bit of what my book's about, and the characters, some of the characters that you'll meet. There's a lot more characters, like Emerson's friends, and you know, when they meet Cyrus and all that good stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and just take my liquid eyeliner and put some back on my mole, my dot, so it comes back to life. Alright, there you go, perfect. Alright, so my makeup's pretty close to being done at this point. I just take a finger and take some off of my lips, because every time I do my foundation it like covers my top lip. There you go. And I'm just going to take this mascara from Benefit. It says Bounce Bad Gal. I also got this from a makeup box from Epsy. Whenever I say makeup box, I mean Epsy. So I'm just going to go ahead and go in. I don't wear falsies normally. I'll literally wear them like once a year, like if I'm going to like a really fancy dinner. I feel like I'm lucky because I feel like I have decent lashes. So I do genuinely feel like a little mascara is like all I really need for them to like kind of like pop a little bit. I'm just not a huge fan of falsies. I like falsies on other people. When I see other people wear them, I'm like, yes, bitch. But when I wear them, I don't know. I don't really like them. I feel like I can feel them on my eye. I don't think I'm applying them correctly, to be honest with you. So, yeah. So I just... Alright, now I'm just gonna do the same thing for the lower lashes. Cool. And we are basically done. Now we just need to do... Oh, almost forgot. A little bit of blush. Just a little bit. This is Juvia's Place Soft Tulip Glow. This is like their blush highlighter combination. I love it. I'm just going to do two dots. And a little across the bridge of my nose. And that is it. I'm going to take this Real Technique dense brush, and I'm just going to really pat that in. You see how a little goes a long way? Look how pigmented that is. It's crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to really take it up my under eye. And same thing here. And apparently I'm incapable of speaking while I do this. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna like, I want to like post my first chapter really bad somewhere. I don't know if I want to create like a website or do it like on Wattpad or like some place where people like, you know, like post their work, just so I can get kind of input and get you guys reading some of it. But yeah, so that is pretty much that. Like I said, I am gonna work on a blurb. That way I can like present properly what my book's about. But yeah. Alright, now we are getting towards the end. I'm going to go back in with the Morphe Continuous, it's such a long name, Jumbo Continuous Prep and Scent Mist. There you go. I'm going to go back because this is super hydrating. So after all that powder, all that makeup, I'm going to go ahead and rehydrate. It's also setting, but I really use it as a rehydrator. And then I'm going to use my all-nighter Urban Decay. Now, they changed the formula of this. This is the OG one by Skin Danavia, the skincare company that made their setting spray, that formulated it anyway. This is no longer on the market. I actually bought this from a user called Beauty Finds on Whatnot. They do makeup auctions. So that's where I got this from, but I don't think they have anymore. So I'm sure the regular all-nighter setting spray is just as good. But I'm just going to go ahead and spritz that all over. My face is wet. I'm sure you could tell, and that also helps really kind of melt in all that powder that we used, again taking away some of that cast. So I'm just kind of gonna let that sit. And now I left, so my purse is, I don't know if you guys have this problem, but every time I do a lippy, I put it in my purse and I leave my purse. I forget and I leave my purse in my car, and it is full of just lip gloss, lip liners, all of my lip liners, they're all in this bag. So I'm gonna go ahead, get that, finish the look, and I'll be back. Alright, it's a little loud. I live next to a highway, but I stepped outside so you can get a look at my makeup in the sunlight. That is the finished look for my lippy. I used Tarte Maracujo Juicy Lip Liner in the shade Rosy Mauve. And to top that, I used the Maracujo Juicy Lip Vinyl in the color Shimmering Cinnamon Spice. I love, this has been my go-to lip combo for like the last month. I love these two together. When it runs out, I'm definitely gonna get more. But yeah, that is the finished product. I just put my hair in a bun, nothing crazy. But thank you so much for watching the video if you made it to the end. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Remember, everything is gonna be okay. And thank you for watching.